What is up, everybody? It's your boy Spliffy, back with another episode of the Spliffy Loves You podcast. I got a couple topics I'm going to be covering today. So I'm going to start right out with this. What the fuck is up with all the White Castle disrespect? Why everybody hating on White Castle? I thought we fucked with White Castle. White Castle is fucking delicious, bro. Even if it makes me spend 30 minutes on the toilet after that, I feel like it's worth it. That's the only food that I will eat where I know I'm gonna shit, but I'm okay with it. White Castle is fucking delicious, bro. Then you can eat like 10 burgers, bro. And fries? Come on. Where else can you eat 10 burgers and fries? I'm not eating 10 McDonald's burgers. You're not eating 10 Burger King burgers. Like, think about it, bro. White Castle is rare. That shit. What other restaurant serves sliders? I can't think of one besides like little mom and pop establishments for real. Like, there is a slider place in Ipsy called Roy Squeezin' that's actually really good. But I like White Castle too. It slaps. The chicken rings, bro. Chicken rings? Take them chicken rings and put them boys on the slider. Man, boy. And then they got the little onion chip. Bro, chicken rings and the onion chips on the slider. Masterpiece. Fucking masterpiece. So yeah, I'm going to need y'all to redirect some of this fucking McHate back to McDonald's. Because every time I go to McDonald's, it fuck up my stomach. But I do not anticipate that from McDonald's. It's fucking McDonald's. Get it together. And the only thing good at McDonald's for real is the McChicken. Like, bro, who's ordering a fucking Big Mac? Gross. You're fucking gross. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Because I feel like I spent a little bit too much time defending White Castle right now. But I fucking love White Castle. My next topic, Superbad versus Talladega Nights. Somebody says Superbad was the funniest white comedy movie. And I'm very inclined to fucking agree with that statement. Because Superbad is fucking hilarious. And everybody still remembers McLovin, bro. McLovin damn near fucking made that movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. My man's chicka chicka what? What's up, gangsters? That nigga McLovin was fucking hilarious. And my man's went on to do like a couple other funny ass roles too. Like he was in Kick-Ass as the fucking villain. That just, and everybody in that movie went on to like greater heights of stardom. Like every main character in Superbad had a fucking poppin' ass acting career. Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Michael Cera, McLovin, even my mans that played the other police officer. Like all of them went on to bigger roles. And like, yeah, those were kind of major roles in that movie. But like, Seth Rogen went on to star in his own movies. Michael Cera went on to star in his own movies. Jonah Hill went on to star in his own movies. Like, everybody from that basically cut their teeth on Superbad. And that made them household names. That established them. Like, damn near everybody in Talladega Nights was already a comedic actor. Like, I can't think of anybody that really, like, broke into comedy movies from Talladega Nights. And don't get me wrong, Talladega Nights is fucking hilarious. It's a funny-ass movie. Never forget, if you're not first, you're last. Like, that shit is iconic. But I really just feel like, as far as, like, comedy and funny moments, Superbad wins the day, bro. Like, Talladega Nights can't really stack up. Like, yeah, it's a good movie. It's funny as fuck. And Will Ferrell, bro. Like, that's all you really got to say, Will Ferrell. But Will Ferrell alone is not doing it. Like, yeah, Michael Clark Duncan had played a bit part. My man's that did the Dewey Cox story, the Walk Hard shit, he was in that. But like, who else was in Talladega Nights for real? Besides really Will Ferrell. Like, he was the main attraction. And yeah, Ricky Bobby had some funny moments, but he didn't hold the whole movie by itself. And I can't think of other actors' names that held up that movie. I can name almost everybody from the fucking main Superbad cast except for the second cop and McLovin. But I don't even know McLovin's real name. I just call him McLovin. All right, my next topic that I want to touch on right quick: the undeniable legends in hip hop. So when I say undeniable legends, I don't mean people like, and as much as I love Juice World and X, I don't mean people like them that are like, you know, a certain group of people of the hip hop fandom consider them legends and some other people don't. I mean people like Tupac, that Biggie, Nas, people that are undeniably like legendary status in the culture. And when I say this, I mean this to say people who brought the culture to our communities and made us want to participate and be involved in this. Like, yeah, Eminem, you know, he basically brought the culture to white people, but like, really think of black people that are saying, oh, I want to be like Eminem. I want to rap like Eminem. Very few. And the ones that do are really considered like the corny niggas, like Hopsin, Joyner Luke. Like, and I love Joyner. Don't get me wrong. Like, I fuck with Joyner Lucas. That man can rap his ass off. But bro, NF is corny as fuck. Hopsin is corny as fuck, bro. All the white rappers besides like Mac Miller have failed to do anything as far as break into hood fame and like reverence. Like, even niggas in the hood don't fuck with Eminem like that. Like, let's be very serious. Niggas that's the main part of the culture, niggas that are in these, what do I want to say, urban, more quote unquote inner city areas, they're not fucking with Eminem. Eminem was for like middle America, white suburban kids, and maybe some white kids from the hood that could relate to being that white kid in the hood with all the black friends type shit. But I feel like Mac Miller did that on a much grander scale because for me, Mac Miller always felt more like he was being himself versus being what living around niggas turned him into, a la Eminem. So like, I feel like Mac Miller had a bigger presence and like I said, reverence in hood circles. Like, niggas would really be like, damn, Mac Miller's gone type shit. Niggas you wouldn't even expect to like be up on Mac and listen to his shit. It's like, damn, that nigga dead. Like, I don't know about y'all, but almost everybody I know from my hood fuck with Mac Miller. And I'm from the south side of Ipsy. So one of the more like dangerous parts of the city, and my homie from the projects is the biggest Mac Miller fan I know. I can't really say the same for Eminem. Like, most of my friends that were fans of Eminem are like older dudes that are like super hip hop heads and would never listen to like Little Uzi Vert and shit. So it's like, it's a real specific demographic of black listeners for Eminem, and they're mostly the old head type dudes. Like, and it's really like a thing that's understood amongst the younger hip hop crowd that Eminem kind of isn't what he once was. And that's coming from somebody who literally heard the Marshall Mathers LP when I was like 8 years old. I could still rap like almost every song from the Marshall Mathers LP from beginning to end off the top of my head. Like if that album starts playing right now and it's like one of like 15 songs, I'm going to know the lyrics because I listened to that album so much. Like I can't overstress enough how much I used to listen to Eminem when I was, and this is when I was first getting into hip hop and becoming like, oh, I'm a hip hop head. I love all the underground and the most technically skilled rappers. Like back then I was listening to shit like Immortal Technique all the time and fucking Jedi Mind Tricks and fucking Most Def, Talib Kweli, like all that kind of shit. This is before I really got into the more mainstream side of hip hop and started branching out and finding out about more rappers. One of the first rappers I ever listened to was Eminem. On my own. He was the first rapper I listened to. The second rapper I listened to on my own was Lil Wayne. And the third was Lupe Fiasco. And like I've said in many other places that I've appeared, Lupe Fiasco literally changed my fucking mind about what hip hop was and what it could be. When I say food and liquor was an integral part of my teenage years, I literally mean that shit. Like, I got that album when I was like 13. And by the time I was 15, that was like ingrained into my brain. We came through the storm, nooses on our necks, and a smallpox blanket to keep us warm on a 747 on a Pentagon lawn. Wake up, the alarm clock is connected to a bomb. But I digress. I got a little bit off track. So what I'm saying is a legend in hip hop is somebody who has the respect of the culture, has the respect of the people, has the success, has the classic songs. Eminem only fits like 2 of those. And then if I add a 5th, I would say quality of music. And like I said, Eminem really only fits 2 of those. If I'm being generous, I'd give him 3 for like his first couple albums. But like I said, who in modern rap that's popping, that people fuck with, is saying, oh, I wanted to be like Eminem. Eminem inspired me. No one significant is my answer to that. True, there are rappers that he helped bring up that'll give him reverence and sing his praises, but part of that is because he helped you make your fucking career. That's why every time somebody, oh, Royce the 5'9", King Crooked, bro, who the fuck are they without Eminem? Royce the 5'9" is nobody without Eminem. I'm sorry. Niggas don't know who you are, bro. And this is coming from somebody who knows the fuck out of Royce the 5'9". I fuck with Royce. But if we're being serious, he's not an impactful artist, nor is King Crooked. Sure, they have great verses. They're technically skilled as fuck rappers. But they're not really revered as icons. And it's basically kind of like they live in Eminem's shadow. But I'm going to just rattle off who I feel like are undeniable legends in hip-hop, such as Tupac, Nas, Biggie, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg. Man, it's kind of hard because, like, for me, to give somebody legendary status, they have to, like I said, check a lot of those boxes, or all of them. And like, while like hip hop fans will be like, Andre 3000 is a legend, he hasn't really transcended hip hop culture. And that's another thing that to me counts as far as like legendary status. Have you transcended just hip hop, and are you known to people that don't really even listen to hip hop? And all those people are. Snoop Dogg is one of the most recognizable people in the world. And for me, like, it's hard to add people to this undeniable legends list. But I guess I could go further back than just my modern ass. I mean, I guess we could add Jay-Z to that list. Let's see. Who else would I put in undeniable legends? Kanye West. And I know this is probably the most fucking controversial name that I've put on here, but bro, that nigga literally changed the whole field of modern hip hop with one album. One album. He changed the entire field of modern hip hop. He made it possible for niggas like Future to even exist. He made it possible for niggas like Lil Uzi to even exist. Without 808s and Heartbreak, nobody would have been accepting of melodic hip hop. People wouldn't have been backing that without the success of that album. Fuck. I guess I could say Wu-Tang are undeniable legends. Bone Thugs are undeniable legends. 3-6. Mafia, obviously. Fuck. Pharrell is a legend. That man has done so much shit. Man, boy. But this kind of brings me to my next topic a little bit, but I'm gonna just jump into it because I wanted to talk about Jim Jones and his fucking dumbass takes lately. Why the fuck Jim Jones opened his mouth to say Pusha T is not top 50 rappers of all time? Like he's even in the top, like, 100. Like, literally, I would sit here and struggle to name 100 rappers before I even fucking decided that Jim Jones was worthy of being in the top 100 rappers. I would put him at, like, 150s. Without Dipset, he's undeniably in the 150s. With Dipset, if we include Dipset as a unit, okay, maybe he makes top 50. But that's a participation top 50. Like, bro, you're not making it alone. And I've said this before. You're not making it alone. The last time niggas was like, turn on that Jim Jones was balling. Like, you've never made waves commercially by yourself as Cameron and Joel Santana have done. I hear Cameron and Joel Santana on people's songs, other people's songs outside of Dipset. Like, Wiz Khalifa had a fucking feature from Cameron. Wayne used to feature Joel Santana all the time. So, like, I can't really think of a notable Jim Jones appearance outside of any Dipset song besides Ballin'. So, really, I just feel like, bro, you're the wrong person to be saying this kind of shit. Like, be humble and remember who the fuck you are in hip-hop. You're a number 3 nigga. Did y'all also hear that this nigga said he doesn't understand grown men who watch cartoons? Nigga, do you not have an imagination? You don't like cartoons? What the fuck? I feel like you're weird if you don't like cartoons. Like, how can you discard an entire medium of storytelling? That'd be like, yeah, niggas who read books is weird, nigga. If you read books, you weird, nigga. Like, that's literally just another medium to tell a story. Cartoons didn't even start out as for kids. If you look at the old cartoons, them niggas was smoking and doing all kind of fucked up shit. Like Tom and Jerry, bro, that shit is violent. That shit is violent as fuck. Like, they was dropping irons and shit on each other, hitting each other with baseball bats and fucking spiked 2x4s and shit. Like, unless it's fake, and I cannot verify this, but there's a clip of fucking Porky the Pig hitting his fucking thumb while he's building some shit, and he's like, son of a gun, Hey, you thought I was gonna say son of a bitch, didn't you? Like, bro, that's not for kids. There's a whole sector of animation called adult animation, which shows like Family Guy, South Park, Drawn Together, all fall under. And they are specifically for adult audiences. So for you to just say some dumbass shit like that just lets me know where your mind state is. You're one of those niggas, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so grown, I'm too adult for that shit. Like, that's weird, bro. You care way too much about what other people think of you if you can't admit that you like a good cartoon, bro. I'm sorry, that's fucking weird. And that brings me into my next topic, which is top 10 animes. So, my top 10 anime changes frequently, and it's really just based on when I'm asked and who asks me. But a lot of the time, I have some staples that don't leave the list. Like, no matter who asks me, I'm going to say these couple animes. But right now, if I were to name my top 10 anime, I would say Trigun, Pokemon, Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu-Gi-Oh! So that's Trigun, Pokemon, Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll say Naruto, number 5. Death Note at 6. Did I say Bleach? Bleach at 7. Shaman King at 8. Ooh. Dragon Ball Z at 9. Actually, I'll just say Dragon Ball at 9. And at 10, I'll put One Piece. Even though I'm not current in One Piece, I started watching One Piece when I was like fucking 7 years old. And that shit's still going. It's gotta be great. It's gotta be goated. Like, it's goated. And that's in no particular order. Those are just the top 10 best animes in my mind. And my favorite. My personal favorites. If I were to put like top 10 best anime, there's no way Pokemon is making that list. I'm sorry. There's no way Dragon Ball Z is making that list. I'm sorry. I love Dragon Ball. But if I'm going by everything included, like storytelling, character development, just plot writing, arcs, and I guess we'll go with sales as a final thing. But outside of those, with those 5 things, Dragon Ball is really only leading in sales. Like, I can think of many other animes with better stories than Dragon Ball Z that are more creative, more unique, and more intriguing. Some of them might have failed commercially or not been as successful commercially. And let's be real, there's not many anime or manga series that will ever be as commercially successful as Dragon Ball. But like, to me, Chapter 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better than the entirety of Dragon Ball Z. Chapter 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was raw. Before the card games, my nigga Yami was just running around playing shadow games with people that was doing fucked up shit. Like, there's a chapter in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 0 where there's a school bully that's basically disguising and hiding his bullying behind being like part of like, I guess, some prefect committee or some shit. But like, he beats up Joey and Tristan, which in the Japanese their names are Jonoichi and Hiroto Honda. But he beats them up or whatever for picking on Yugi. And then he basically extorts this nigga Yugi with threatening basically bodily harm to this nigga. So, you know, Yami not standing for that. So Yami come back. He tells him to meet him at the school or whatever. And they play this game or whatever where they're on like a water tower or some shit. And You draw a card from a deck of cards, and however many uh, the number is how many steps down off the water tower you take. And mind you, they're both tied to this rope that's like secured to the water tower. So you take too many steps, you fall off the water tower. My man's basically was like, yeah, we'll play the game and by the rules. And when you say that, you just unwillingly and unknowingly just agreed to this shadow game. And this is the birth of shadow games, by the way. So the shadow game originally was a punishment for cheating or breaking the rules of the established game. So, like, sometimes he would just straight up win. But other times, this nigga would literally, like, just break your mind and send you to the Shadow Realm because you broke the rules of the game. You could have even possibly won. Maybe. This nigga was really good at any game. He's the king of games. That's where that name comes from. So, anyway, the point I'm saying is you need to read the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga. They had that bitch at my fucking school when I was a kid. And I read that shit. I was like, this is the best shit I've ever read. I had to read every volume that was available. I remember one where he was like, it was like some nigga that was like a graffiti artist. And he had done some shit to Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi Friends or whatever. And like they were playing this maze game or whatever with the spray paint. And at the end, this nigga had basically made a wick out of the cigarette the graffiti nigga was smoking and lit that nigga on fire with the trail of spray paint. Bro, that shit was so cold. I'm telling you. That nigga Kazuki Takahashi, he should have continued that version of Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. If that version of Yu-Gi-Oh nigga was what Yu-Gi-Oh was, bro, that shit would have been way harder than the card games. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm glad they made Duel Monsters because Yu-Gi-Oh cards was the shit, and I make money off that shit these days. So, if there was never Yu-Gi-Oh cards, it'd be a lot of fucked up shit. Anyway, I want to go ahead and move through my list a little bit more. And my question, and you feel free to reply in the comments. Have you ever been to a rave? I have been to quite a fucking few. And they are fucking fun as shit, bro. Like, I don't know. I do like electronic music, but the very first rave I went to, I did not like electronic music yet. That was what made me like electronic music, was actually being at a rave with a bunch of people. They were probably on drugs. I was on weed. Like, it was a fun time, though. Like, there was fucking, like, smoke machines and all kind of lights and shit, and like motherfucking foam gun person running around with a foam gun and shit. And bro, that shit was crazy, bro. Like, the music was slapping because I was high and drunk. I did drink some as well. And I mean, it was a really fun experience. The very first rave I went to was a very fun experience. And then I went to like electronic like shows where there was like multiple performers, and it was like basically like a rave. Like, there's multi-floors in this place. Everybody's dancing. There's light shows, there's smoke machines, you know. Shit is lit. Everybody having a great time. People on drugs. People vaping in there. You know, people smoking weed in the bathroom. Like it, bro. It was a fun time, man. And I remember one time, actually, I was on the way to a fucking show with a friend of mine. We were going to see Shiba-san. And nigga, this man, I feel like, ran a stop sign and got pulled over. And mind you, I had a warrant at the time. So, like, I'm having a fucking panic attack right now. Like, police ask me, are you okay? I'm like, no, I need to go to the hospital now. They're like, bet, you look like you're fucking about to die or some shit. I'm having the worst panic attack possible. This nigga sitting over there chilling. They find all his weed and he had like some other shit. Whatever. They found his shit. They take him, put him in the car. They bring him also to the hospital because, mind you, he's drunk. We're on the way to a rave. Of course, like, he's pre-gamed. You feel me? Like, we're about to go, you know, party and turn up. So, I see this nigga at the hospital. They have me in, like, a room or whatever. They take him, I guess, to the police station after, or they gave him a ticket or something. Whatever the case was, that nigga had a case from that shit that he had to fight. I almost fucking went to jail because I had a fucking warrant. The only reason I didn't go to jail is because I had a fucking panic attack that I was even in the car and the police were behind me. And these niggas took me to the hospital without even asking me my name or nothing. Like, I literally got lucky as fuck. Because I really could have went to jail that night. So, but yeah, man, nah. That's one rave experience I really missed out on. But I really wish I could have went to that because Shiba-san is dope. There was another show that I went to at Electricity. I think it's like this club in like Pontiac or some shit. Either way, this was with the same dude, by the way, my man that went to jail. He drove us all to this show. So we're all off edibles and we're smoking hella weed. I'm pretty sure a couple of my friends had dropped acid. So we got to Pontiac. We all hop out, smoke, drift out the car and shit. Motherfucking, we go into this fucking rave. I feel like it was like Excision and Proto Hype or some shit like that. But that shit was fucking lit, bro. I've never heard of these artists before. But the show was fucking fun as shit. Like, I danced with a couple girls, met some people, you know, smoked a fuck ton of weed, got high as shit, danced some more, you know. Like, it was a good time. It was a good time, man. I remember on the way home, this nigga was arguing with his mans, my mans that was driving. Mind you, this is my mans that got arrested because he was driving drunk or whatever. And he ran the stop sign. This nigga does some GTA shit because he misses the exit. So he swerves off of the fucking exit. I swear to you, the car is in the air, bro. I swear to y'all, the car is in the air. He swerves off the exit. We're in the air. We hit back down on the ground. Everybody's like looking at each other. It's quiet in the car. My man's was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, bro, that shit. It sounded like Pinky yelling at his driver about how fast he was going. It was like, don't ever do no shit like that again. But nah, bro. That shit was a crazy night, man. It was lit, though. But yeah, man. Y'all gotta get to them raves, man. Raves are fun as fuck. If you like electronic music, for sure, you should definitely get to one. So, my next topic, and y'all know, y'all seen my video on this if you follow me on Instagram. Why the fuck are y'all talking about 50 Cent can compete with Lil Wayne in a versus? Have y'all niggas lost y'all fucking mind? Have y'all forgot who Lil Wayne is? and y'all just saying shit? 50 Cent doesn't even have enough hits to go against Wayne. Like I said before, 50 Cent has maybe like 7 songs. Like, he doesn't have that many hits. Y'all have to remember who... You can't count G-Unit. That's also Lloyd Banks, The Game, and Young Buck. He didn't do that alone. His star power helped. But he wasn't alone. So, like, what is he pulling from? He had, like, I think 4 solo albums. And I can't remember any songs from, like, the last 2. Any song by 50 Cent that I name is probably from Get Rich or Die Trying or The Massacre. I don't think I know any songs from Curtis. I don't even know the name of the other album that he released. Like, you people are talking crazy talk. This is the nigga that gave us the Carter 1 through 5. The drought is over. Dedication. No ceilings. Like, bro, Lil Wayne is undeniably a legend in hip hop. 50 Cent is debatable. Like, that's like, if you would say 50 Cent is a legend, there are some niggas that are not going to agree with you. 50 Cent cannot stack up against Lil Wayne. I'm sorry. I just don't see it, bro. I don't see any way in which 50 Cent can compete against Lil Wayne when he only really has, like, I'm gonna go look up 50 Cent's Billboard songs. Because Versus is about the hits. It's not about, even though Lil Wayne is lyrically a better rapper as well, but it's not about that. The Versus is about the hits. So let me go to 50 Cent on Billboard. He has 13 top 10 hits. That's not even enough to compete in Versus. And I guarantee you I've named some of these. In the Club. This Is How We Do is The Game featuring 50 Cent. Just a little bit. That's ass. PIMP. That's pretty mid. I did like that song when I was a kid, but as a grown-ass man, that song's corny as fuck. Magic Stick. That's Lil' Kim featuring 50 Cent. So, like, again, all the songs that he has that are top 10s are him featuring or ass songs or both. Like, How We Do is not better than any Lil Wayne song. Like, name a Lil Wayne song that you think is better than How We Do. Any of them. Like, I could literally just sit here and name mixtape Lil Wayne songs that I think are better than... And these are album cuts. How We Do was... I'm pretty sure that's on the documentary. I'm pretty sure that's on the Game documentary. Let me see. How We Do. It's right there in the track list. Album cut. And it's not even his song. Once again, he's the featured artist. So it can't even count. Are we looking at... Think about the Gucci Mane versus Young Jeezy versus. What songs were they playing that they were the feature? Think about the 3-6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs. They're not playing songs they're featured on. They are playing their hits. And true, it doesn't have to be a top 10 hit. Let's be fair here. 50 Cent has 41 songs on the billboards, right? Wanksta, 13. I don't like that song as an adult. And that's another thing. I feel like 50 Cent music really appealed to a younger audience because he wasn't a complex rapper. Like, kids can easily understand what the fuck he's rapping about. He's rapping about shooting people, getting money, and chains. Like, with Lil Wayne, bro, it was times where I was rapping Lil Wayne and I didn't even know what the fuck that nigga was talking about when I was a kid. Because he used so many metaphors and shit. Like, Drop the World. I heard that song when I was like 13. I got ice in my veins, blood in my eyes, hate in my heart, love in my mind. That is some very deep lyricism. Ice in my veins. That means he's cold-blooded. But as a kid, you're just like, okay, that's a cool way to say, you know, you're a killer or some shit. Because, like, my only frame of reference with, like, ice in my veins is, like, action movies and shit. Or, like, TV media. Like, I've never heard that. I'm a, you know, from the ghetto. That's not a phrase that's used every day, you know, in just adults talking around me. They don't say they got ice in their veins. Like, that's like some mafia movie type shit. My point is, 50 Cent literally be like, you can find me in the club, bottles full of bub. Like, obviously, you're talking about you're in the club with champagne. Like, champagne is bubbly. I've watched enough movies to know, nigga. Like, I know that much. Like, this nigga Lil Wayne is using real literary devices while motherfucking 50 Cent's talking about his daily activities. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like people really appreciate simple ass rap because it's easier to understand. And most of the time you're in a setting where you're not actually even thinking about the lyrics. You're just nodding your head or dancing. And that's pretty much 50 Cent made club music. So this is my thing. Like, how are y'all comparing a nigga that made club music to a master of the craft of rapping like Lil Wayne is? Lil Wayne is a lyrical fucking beast. That nigga is a wordsmith to the core. I'm telling you. This nigga Lil Wayne just dropped a fire ass song with a DMX sample. And if you haven't heard the song, you gotta go listen to that shit. Let me go look that. I'm gonna play some of that for y'all. I'm gonna play some of the new Lil Wayne, matter of fact. I can get away with playing a little bit of it. That's all I can play for y'all. But bro, go listen to that whole song, dog. That shit is crazy, bro. That nigga Wayne still snapping on every track, bro. Man, so I just heard this song that Lil Wayne was on a while ago with Wale. My sister put me on. By the way, my wife showed me that Lil Wayne song. I didn't even know this song was out. It's a new song. It literally came out February 23rd, 2023. I literally didn't know this song was out. Good ass song. But yeah, so there's this other song he was on with Wale, and it's called what is it called? Running Back, I think. Let me see. I added it to my playlist. That song is fire too. And Wale always been cold to me, cause that nigga can actually rap. Wale, keep doing what you're doing, man. Where the fuck is it? Running Back, that's what it's called. With Lil Wayne. That shit slaps. So if you're using feature songs, that is in the running. Like Running Back with Wale and Lil Wayne, that's better than any song I've ever heard from 50 Cent. I'm sorry. Like I've never heard a 50 Cent song as good as that. Even a feature. Like How We Do is not good as Running Back. I'm sorry. Bro. And there's a plethora of other songs Lil Wayne is featured on that 50 Cent has no song that's as good as. I'm going to pick Lil Wayne every time. So this is just ludicrous to me. I'm sorry. I'm moving on, bro. I don't want to spend too much time on this shit. So, my question, and once again, in the comments, feel free to reply. How do you feel about giving money to women you are not serious with? Because to me, that's not really something I do. Like, I don't just be giving women money. I'm sorry. That's just not how I do life. Like, my nigga, I don't know, man. But, like, my wife, no problem. If I'm dating a girl, I have no problem giving her money if she needs it for something, for sure. But just like to talk to you or DM you, I'm not about to pay you for that. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. And that's stupid. Not about to do that. Like, they really be out here talking about, oh, if you want to get a girl's attention, instead of DMing her, you should cash app. Like, no, bitch. What? What are you, a fucking phone sex operator or some shit? Like, why am I tipping you for talking on the phone or a fucking message on a social media platform? That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's not a topic I planned on spending too much time on. That's more of I want to hear your response to that. I want to hear how you feel about that. My last topic that I'm going to touch on, and this might be kind of a long one because I have quite a few actually. But favorite underrated comedy movies. So, obviously, I'm not, as I've said a lot of the time, I'm not a movie watcher. I don't watch movies a lot. I don't watch TV a lot. Honestly, most of the movies I watched were based on books that I read. So, obviously, I've seen all the Harry Potter movies. Or, like, I've seen comic book movies and shit because I read a lot of comic books. Or like The Giver or Stephen King. Like a lot of shit that I've seen, I've also read. But there's like a handful of like movies and shit and media that I consume that's not, that doesn't have a book counterpart. Like, I watch a lot of Disney movies. I love Disney movies. But that's beside the point. I'm not a super movie watcher. I'm not a, what do they say? A cinephile. I don't love movies. So, favorite underrated comedy movies. Number one, I'm going with Little Nicky. Adam Sandler, the son of Satan. That shit is fucking hilarious. I love that movie. That is one of my favorite fucking Adam Sandler movies of all time, bro. That movie is a fucking masterpiece of comedy. That is a fucking funny ass movie. And the crazy part is that's like a super slept on even Adam Sandler movie. Like when you ask people what their favorite Adam Sandler movies, they say like Click, they say Happy Madison or Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Big Daddy, shit like that. Like when I say Little Nicky, motherfuckers be like, "Oh, I forgot that movie even exists." Like, nigga, what? Little Nicky is hilarious. Great movie. Another underrated comedy movie. And this is like a kind of like a rom-com, but I'm going to say The Black Knight with Martin Lawrence. That is a fucking funny ass movie. And I seen that when I was a kid, and like as a kid, this is when they were like really getting a lot of like black male actors in leading roles more prominently, and it was like trendy and shit, I guess, because like, you know, Will Smith had all the movies, and Denzel, and like basically all the black actors, like they all were in leading roles in and even before that, it started before the 90s, I'm sure, but like my point is I was seeing more black dudes in lead roles as a kid than before in my memory. Obviously, you know, there's like Indiana Jones, all these movies with white heroes is my point. But The Black Knight, I was like, damn, this is cool. This is a black guy movie, you know? Like, in The Black Knight, bro, I'm sure some people, you know, if you bring it up, they know about it. But it's just like, who's really saying, like, this is my favorite Martin Lawrence movie? Like, a lot of people is just like, Life. That shit funny as fuck. And Life is a funny ass movie. But I'm pretty sure, who else was in Life with Martin Lawrence? Wasn't it Eddie Murphy? So like Eddie Murphy is fucking hilarious. So of course that movie is gonna pop. And you know what? I was just talking about Superbad earlier, but there was like a whole like range of like those movies that were like teen coming of age type story comedies. And another one that was fucking funny as hell. And I really liked, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Hot Rod. It was about my man's Andy Samberg. The nigga, pretty sure the nigga was like a teenager in the movie trying to be a stuntman. Yeah. That movie was fucking hilarious. Maybe it's just because when I was a kid I wanted to be a stuntman. And this movie, by the way, has a fucking 6.7 on IMDb, so that's almost a 7. 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. They don't like it. 3.6 on Letterboxd. That's almost a 4. That's decent. I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty funny. So, those are my, you know, favorite underrated comedy movies. Feel free to drop some in the comments, you know. So, that was our show today. I appreciate you all for coming to listen and tuning in. I would like to say, never doubt yourself. When you have a dream, you have to chase it. Even if people tell you It's crazy. You're never going to make it. You're never going to have it. You can't do that. Don't listen to the doubters. You have to believe in yourself more than anybody else because nobody else can do it besides you. So, whenever you get down and you feel like you might want to quit or stop going and stop chasing your dream, just remember you are the decider at the end of the day. And you will always have that power to decide. So don't worry about what anybody else says. They can't stop you. Those words are meaningless. Listen to the people that support you and tell you you can do that. Because those are the people that really care about you. But anyway, Spliffy loves you. And I hope you guys have a great fucking week, man.